One of my favorite is an episode we did called Bad Blood.
The truth is, sort of based it loosely on an old episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Kind of a he said, she said.
What do you mean, what am I going to tell him? I'm going to tell him exactly what I saw.
I'll tell him exactly what I saw.
You got to play the 3 or 4 different versions of yourself.
I hope you brought your cowboy boots.
Why are we going to Dallas?
Hope you brought your cowboy boots.
You want us to go to Dallas?
How I would conceive of Scully conceiving of me.
Yeah, that's probably a satanic cultist. Come on, Scully.
How Mulder conceives of himself.
That's one opinion.
We ended up shooting everything in one direction. So we do my version
Lucius Harwell.
and do his version.
Y'all must be the government people.
We work very well together.
One of my favorite things about Bad Blood was Agent Scully gets to smile.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
Hi, I'm Don S. Williams. I play Elder on The X-Files. He's the leader of a group of men.
How did you know my name?
I know most everything about you, Dana.
They are a collective group of the world leaders.
What they're concerned about is their position on the planet and their power.
Someone's going to great lengths to sabotage our work.
Who?
One way or another, we'd better find out.
The least said, the more powerful. And Don Williams, who is this monster of a man,
I'm 6'4" and I weigh 275 pounds.
is this very quiet, sort of sandy voice.
You will fix it now, do you understand me?
Favorite images in most of my own episodes is in 731, Don in the white train car in his black overcoat, and he's saying nothing. And to me, it was like the conspiracy.
Trust no one.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
I was called in to play Mutato. Chris gave me a call after I received the script, and he said that he really wanted to find the heart of this fellow and his dignity.
I went places I'd never dreamed of.
Then you've got this wonderful story, and you've got this sort of character created by the makeup effects and then all the layerings. It was very detailed. Mask was the film that Chris told me to take a look at.
The Cher character was talked about frequently and was a thread throughout because this strange, deformed person who turned out to be this sweet, wonderful guy had always idolized her because of her role in the movie Mask.
We had to decide which Cher look we wanted, and then we had a wig made.
I heard she really, really liked it.
I especially loved the last few moments where Scully and Mulder danced together.
We all had the feeling like we were doing something new and taking a certain risk.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
I'm Lee Smith. I'm the researcher for the X-Files.
Do you have any information on Blockhead or Geek Act?
I'm the person who everybody comes to for the facts that they need to make sure that the scripts are correct. I spend 90% of my day on the internet. If that doesn't work, then I start on the telephone. Forensics. Odontology, the study of the teeth of the dead. Cryptozoology, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, microwave listening devices, medical examiners.
Yada, yada, yada.
Really the big challenge for Redux and Redux 2 is that we used actual footage from a Senate hearing on cloning. They came to me with stills and said, okay, we need to identify everybody in this picture. That was really one of the most challenging things that I've done, is to track all of those people down and get them to say, sure, I'd love to be on the X-Files. I got them on.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
File name was Kill Switch.
Kill Switch is about what happens when the man who didn't quite become Bill Gates creates an artificial life form which he turns loose on the internet.
All the robots and all the little gizmos and doodads that attach to the robotic arms.
Those had to work in a shot with David. I couldn't just have a shot of David's face and then do something on a dummy arm. I wanted it all to work and on cue. And they built these arms out of scratch.
I've always wanted to see Scully do more, like shoot and drive and kickbox.
I have a lot of fun doing that stuff.
Scully comes in you know, and does what I call the Scully foo.
And the concept was fun too, coming in to these bimbo nurses and kicking some major butt.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
My name is Laurie Holden. I play Marita Covarrubias.
Covarrubias? Mata Hari.
I am a special representative to the Secretary General of the United Nations.
An ally of Mulder's, somehow tied to the diabolical syndicate. I don't know if anyone can really trust Marita.
Is that a yes or a no?
She's got her own agenda, and she knows how to do it.
Why are you helping me?
Because I can. Because of the highly secretive nature of what she does, she has to be very careful about what she reveals.
Yes, but I wasn't able to give him any information.
And she does a great job with it. Recently in The Patient X and The Red and the Black.
I had to learn Russian, 15 seconds of screen time of Russian that you think is just, you know, a piece of cake takes hours.
Устав Организации Объединенных Наций.
Глава 7, статьи 39 и 42. Yeah, I remember it.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
Unusual Suspects came into being when Chris Carter told me to write an episode about the lone gunman. Well, I was a little tentative going into that one. I was like, how the heck do you fill an hour with these 3 guys? But that's one of the ones I'm most proud of.
Bingo. You know, finally we find out how the lone gunman got involved in this whole thing.
What I need from you guys is to tell me what the hell happened last night.
You might want to sit down. This is going to take a while.
We gave Frohickey a first name, and it was Melvin.
It was at this point, however, that Mr. Frohickey raised an interesting question.
Tom Braidwood, he didn't like that first name, and when it came time for him to say, hi, I'm Melvin Frohickey, he, in rehearsal, went, I'm Mel Frohickey, and put a little macho thing on it. And I said, Tommy, come here a minute. You're Melvin Frohickey. Learn to live with it. He hates it.
I know what you're thinking. Melvin, are you out of your mind?
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
My name is Jeff Redknapp. I'm a special makeup effects artist. And these are for the autopsy sequence.
You should be able to do a good enough examination of the body right here.
Yes, it's Toby Lindelof.
In terms of the design, this alien in particular has been frozen for 200 years as scripted.
We won't know for sure until we do a carbon dating test.
They'll start with this one. They'll peel off the eyelids and reveal these gelatinous eyes underneath. Make for a bit of movement for the overall inspection. Some nice folds from the silicone, a little bit of life in it. It gives so nicely. It's got a real fleshy reaction to it. They'll peel back the skin and cut away the ribs, and they'll get to the organs you see there.
And then later on, you'll see the organs on display in a tray.
These are an alien heart, lungs, indiscernible, an alien organ.
If this isn't alien, I don't know what it is.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
Corinne Mayers, Canadian casting director for The X-Files. If a director or a producer on the show likes a performer, they will give them another opportunity in a different role.
I did an episode in the first season called Gender Bender, where I played a nightclub goer. That's where I first met Rob Bowman. When it came time to cast the role that I'm doing now,
Alex Karchak.
Rob kept on saying, you gotta see this guy, you gotta see him. And finally they sort of caved into Rob and cast me in the role. So Bowman figures he's responsible for my career, so every time I see him, I give him a buck.
Every now and then we'll just offer somebody a role. And that's always fun for the performers.
My sister Zoe played myself as a 14-year-old. They were looking for somebody to cast as my younger self, and I think we have the same nose, and she did a great job. I was really proud of her.
This has gotta be it.
And my brother now wants to do something.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, only on FX.
My name is John Finn, and I played Michael Kritschgau. I worked for the Department of Defense.
Is this the man?
Agent Mulder was looking for a cure for cancer for Scully, and I informed him that the cure was in this building that I worked in.
And he had this scene that looked like the Yellow Pages. The dialogue basically fills you in for the last 50 years.
This is what I was telling you, Agent Mulder. This is the hoax into which you've been drawn. The roots go back 50 years to the end of World War II.
And then David Duchovny says, yeah, and then what happened?
The U.S. military saw a good thing in 47 when the Roswell story broke.
I know a lot.
We just gave him a round of applause once we finished shooting that scene.
I know where my character name comes from. Jillian.
There was a kid who was actually a friend of mine still that I went to school with in Michigan, and his name was Michael Krichkow.
Well, there you go.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, on FX.
My name's Angie Benben. I'm the key hairstylist. My job is to design the hair. David Jillian's everybody's hair, the monsters. Most of the wigs we do are for Toby Lindell's special effects dummies. Someone who's been killed or turns into a monster, so we will have to match the wig to the actual person. I was asked to make actors look like animals. The chicken was spotted, so we put white extensions in and we cut them all with razors to make them look like feathers, and it actually turned out really well.
There's magic going on here, Mulder.
Jillian has really curly hair, so working up here in Vancouver, it's very moist, so it's a huge battle to keep her hair straight because we think the straight looks better than the wavy. For example, Detour we shot in the woods and it was pouring rain, but we had to pretend it wasn't raining.
It's interesting.
Why is that interesting?
You can't do that, but we had to. So fans will notice Jillian's hair looks different in that episode because suddenly she has all this curly hair.
And I would appreciate it if we could keep this matter confidential.
The X-Files, 5 nights a week, on FX.